Oh God, laughing so much makes my back hurt. Uh, I just, I had the choice between Nutri-Grain bar and Fiber One bars today, and I can't think of Nutri-Grain bars the same anymore. Not since Asher put them out for sex snacks.
Okay.
Exactly. And apparently it's my fault she can't eat them anymore.
I
And
know
now I
it's
can't
really
eat them
dumb,
anymore
but
because I never thought about it until she said something.
now every time I see a Nutri-Grain bar, I'm just gonna think of Asher and Beth.
Okay.
Shit.
And someone just snorted.
That was adorable, Mel.
Okay, so I know Dave's going to be running late today, I guess, but we can get started without him. So I know Mel and Gwen are here. Conrad,
Hey,
Jason.
Greetings.
Now I realize why you're keeping yourself muted because you can hear her in the background. I get it.
I was trying to be polite.
And John.
here.
Okay. All right. So wow. Yeah. Okay.
This is what
Yeah.
happens when you play with girls, man.
Yeah, not exactly making a great case for yourself, I think.
I
Uh,
love it.
all right. So, yeah, how is everybody today? Is everybody ready? Who's missing? I know.
Conrad?
Oh,
No, Conrad's here.
I'm
Mel.
on the Roll 20
John.
screen. I never hit enter game.
Oh, John.
Good job. I'm not
I
the
blame
last
you.
person in game today.
Okay, excuse me.
Nope, that'll be me.
So, just a very, very brief recap. As I recall, you guys had caused a bit of a stir, a little bit of a muck up in Waterdeep. Some of
As
you,
we do.
yeah, as you do, some of you tried to split up to figure out how to, I guess, save Valem's family. You all kind of went at it from a slew of different directions, none of which were necessarily successful. After some not insignificant combat encounters, you guys went to kind of nurse your wounds and reconnoiter and
Take
figure
a
out
nap.
what your next move was. You were able to free one of Valem's sisters and Casper, and you returned him to the Spires of Morning, whereupon you met up with one of Valem's old compatriots, Delvarian, who kind of helped nurse you guys back to health and gave you a quiet, safe space inside the spires, with which to tend to your wounds and take your next step. So as morning arrived, you guys all were, uh, you know, waking up and getting your breakfast. Delvarian was getting you guys tea. Elizabeth, you had a little encounter with Casper as he
Mm-hmm.
appeared to be waking up. Valem's sister was still sleeping, it seemed, and we kind of cut to seeing Valem heading off on his own first thing in the morning before anyone else woke, and there Valem headed straight for the inn, for the Mirror's Inn, and upon searching the place found nothing. Headed upstairs, searched the rooms, what have you, and upon coming down the stairs, we see that Valem comes more or less face to face with Aldo as he walks into the inn. So I think we open on that scene.
I thought that was
Um,
Bellion.
no, Bellion actually was in a tower about a block away, observing this, and Bellion did see this. Bellion did see Valem and Aldo, I think, heading into the inn. Um, Bellion is only very slightly distracted by a Tressum that seems to have caught his fancy, and yeah, Bellion is at a distance observing. Yeah, and with a Tressum that seems to maybe is following him, but Bellion is trying to observe. Oh, that's right, because Bellion fell off the roof. You're right, I remember that. Okay, so yeah, Valem, we're gonna open with you coming down the stairs and pretty early in the morning, and you're alone, and Aldo is across the inn from you. What do you want to do?
Well, from what I recall, the last thing we ended is that he asked me to take a seat so we could talk.
Yeah, he is definitely gesturing you to see if you'll take a seat.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to whatever table he's headed towards and have a seat.
Okay. Yeah, so he'll kind of beckon you toward this table. He says, "You want something to drink, something to eat? I'm more than happy to get us something out of the kitchen. I'm gonna go get myself some water." And like
No, thank you.
okay, like he'll basically walk past you and walk into the kitchen. Um, and yeah, you hear him rustling around, making some noise. Do you actually go and sit?
Yes.
Okay. You should have your token. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, your token. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so like a minute passes, you hear him rustling around, and then he kind of comes back out, and he is going to move around from you. He's going to basically sit back here closer to the door, but he'll place down. There's a pitcher of water. There's a couple glasses. Maybe just a little bit of like lunch meat, maybe some cheeses. Nothing fancy, just something he could probably just grab out of a cold box or something like that. And he places it down, and he sits himself down on the other side of the table and pours himself a glass of water. Kind of looks to you. So, I guess at last we meet, huh? Like sips his water.
Yeah, indeed. So you wanted to meet with me. Not trying to beat around the bush. I assume this is where you tell me what you want. You obviously know what I want.
Well, right to business. I can respect that. You don't want to have a little small talk, whatever, first. It's all right. Yeah, I understand, your family's, I guess, at risk is a safe way to put it. And I can appreciate your urgency here. So, yeah, right to it then. I think it should be pretty obvious to you. I got to tell you first before we set out, on this little adventure between you and I, that I should make it known that, as you can plainly tell, I'm here by myself. Now, that's out of partly courtesy to you, but also so you understand that, my colleagues, they know where I am, and as you can see, your family's not with me. So you want to draw weapons on me, and I understand you to be kind of a man of action. That's your choice, but you do that, you'll never see your family again. Now, I don't say this to be rude. I don't mean to insult a man, especially and he kind of like gestures around the room, in his home. But I just want to make it clear kind of where we stand. I hope you can respect that.
If that was my intention, we wouldn't be sitting here talking right now.
Yeah, he kind of like nods. Fair point. All right, well, good. Just wanted to clear the air a little bit there. So, yeah. What it is, you see, Valem, you and your friends, I mean, I assume that those folk I was dealing with over the last 12 hours, 18 hours, I assume them colleagues of yours. A little hasty interactions, if you don't mind my saying so. Y'all have been kind of, well, to be blunt, cutting into profits a bit of late. I think you can appreciate that our organization kind of thrives in that manner, and well, we're trying to turn over something of a new leaf. The world's changing, a lot of stuff going on, and in years past, I'm going to be honest, folks such as yourself, the upstarts, campaigners, and the like, we would normally devote a non-insignificant amount of resources to taking you out. And again, that's not a threat. I'm just, kind of laying out a foundation here for you. But we're trying a different tact here, and I hope you can appreciate that. It's just, we got a business to run, and thus far you have demonstrated that, you and your friends are kind of a thorn in our paw. What I'm trying to do here is come to something of an understanding with you. Thing is, we've got business to run. We've got our things, you got your things. Just seems like our things and your things keep kind of butting up against each other. You know what I mean?
I don't think you know what you mean. And if I could just interrupt for a second, I think I could try to clarify things. You see, maybe I'm misunderstanding things, but by you saying that we're interfering with your business, you got into business with the wrong people. And if by business, and I'm kind of doing the whole quotation thing in the air, if by business you mean accosting people, taking people hostage, especially family members of my companions, and now my own family members, then I'm not see where the change in the social structure is, where you guys are turning over a new leaf, because this is the only business we've gotten involved in.
Well, that's not entirely true, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I appreciate that you think that. Maybe you don't understand the depth of which, our business seems to run.
Sure.
Just to clarify a couple points for you, if you don't mind. First of all, that business in Baldur's Gate, you know, Magnus, that wasn't entirely us. I mean, I'm not saying we weren't involved, but just so you understand, that was more to do with Magnus. That whole thing really went kind of sideways, and I admit that. But again, that had more to do with Magnus. I mean, he did come to us. We did help him. But let's just kind of focus here down for a second, just so we understand where we stand. I think that's probably useful for us. First of all, this is not the first business you've kind of cut in on. Now, again, I'm just sort of middle management, right? That's kind of where I stand. So I got some supervisors, some superiors. I'm sure you can relate. Y'all, this kind of started up a couple months ago. That business in Nightstone. Now, I think it was all a fluke. I don't think you had any designs on interrupting our organization there. I really don't. I think it was just wrong place, wrong time. But that said, we had put some time and some resources into Nightstone. Kella, who, you may not think so, but she's pretty good at what she does. She was getting ready to set up shop, and she was real close to turning everything over there. And again, part of that's not you. I understand the giants came in and there was something about orcs or whatnot. But, that was sort of the first thing. Y'all kind of did get involved, and again, I don't think that was entirely you. It is what it is, but that sort of put you on our radar. And then, we moved forward a little. We got Golden Fields. Now, in all honesty here, Golden Fields, we were just sort of scouting the place out. We hadn't really devoted any serious resources, just a couple sets of eyes, a couple sets of ears, just to see what's going on there, see if we could move on the town, And then y'all showed up. Again, it's hard to say that you really screwed us up because we weren't really getting moving yet. But that said, it kept you on our radar, and we were starting to sort of develop some leads in that town, and well, that kind of got shot to shit. See, you put us behind a little in terms of the timetable, but again, no real harm done. Don't think it was your intention, but so it goes. Now, the real trouble starts a little bit after that. Reports are hazy and vague, but there was that business in Barge Ride. He kind of pauses. Ugly piece of business, that. You see, Barge Ride was kind of a home to a lot of us, like a second home. A lot of us were brought up near Barge Ride, kind of brought into the fold. It's kind of nostalgic. Y'all showed up, and there was a bit of trouble. Again, I'm not entirely sure about what exactly happened there, because, well, there was a lot of dead there. So I'm not sure if you were involved. It seems like you were there and then you weren't there. Again, I don't fully understand or comprehend the depth of that certain situation. And then, again, we lead more or less directly to Baldur's Gate. And I don't know if you fully understand the hurt you caused us down in that city. Now, again, the whole Magnus thing, right, I think that was handled poorly, but again, I wasn't directly involved in that. That's not sort of, where my office is. Kind of gives you a little smirk. But business was already up and running. We had a good source of income down there. And I'll tell you what, you boys pissed off Andrew something terrible. He's looking for blood on that, but again, I'm trying to deal with this situation now in a means it's more, friendly and amicable between all parties here. But like we lost a significant amount of investment in Baldur's Gate. And like I said, I'm just trying a new tack here because it's become pretty clear we've got at least something of a pattern. And like I said, we've dealt with your folk, your kind before, campaigners and the like. Maybe you don't mean to necessarily interrupt us, but it always comes down to that. And I mean, we could just, like I said, we could invest some resources to just, well, to be frank, killing all of you, getting you out of the picture. And that's something we could do, but it's just so exhausting. You kill a bunch of ours, we kill a bunch of yours. It's a back and forth, and it just goes on. It just goes on. And I just don't want to devote that kind of energy, Valem. You understand? So, yes, I mean, admittedly, in all honesty, I did sort of kidnap your family. But, with respect to you, they're not hurt. I didn't hurt any of them. I mean, Casper, but he ain't your family. And I hope you can respect that. I mean, we had to show some sort of force, and that was also more about Magnus. And, again, it's an ugly piece of business, and I admit that. But the thing here is, all we want is we need to know that you're going to stay out of our business. Right? Like you and I as men, we can make an arrangement here. We can make a deal. Such that, well, we can just go our merry ways, each of us. You go that way, and he kind of points away from you. And I go that way, points like away. And we just don't meet. You go about whatever business is yours, I go about whatever business is mine, and our lines never intersect. You understand me?
Do I understand? Well, I understand the words that you're saying, but I think there's a great deal of confusion, and you could have saved yourself a lot of time and effort if you had just looked into things a little more than you did. And I sat here quietly. I let you speak. So now I hope you give me the courtesy and allow me to retort. So we'll start in Nightstone. And you mentioned Kella, and knowing her by first name basis, I assume that you're on a conversation type relationship with her, and she's probably relayed information and things of that nature. Well, I'm not sure if she explained in detail exactly what it was transpiring there. Now, what you know about mine and my companion's mission, I'm uncertain, but I'm going to inform you of that now. As you may have touched on, the giants are kind of wreaking havoc across the Sword Coast right now. Now, I don't think you understand the mess that and when I say you, I'm not referring to you personally, but your companions and whatnot in general. But the mess that you're causing to the entire Sword Coast, and that's the interference that has stunted my group's mission of investigating and resolving the problem with the Giants' Ordning. We're having entire cities ravaged, destroyed, because you're delaying our progress. You mentioned Baldur's Gate a couple times. We've been tied up in Baldur's Gate for way more than we needed to. And I've already been told by my own informants that an entire city has been destroyed in the time that we wasted in Baldur's Gate. Because of, as you've touched on, something wrong place, wrong time. Maybe you did business with the wrong person. You've already admitted that the Mendelsohn deal that you were into was a giant mistake. So going back to Nightstone, I was going down there to assist with goblin attacks that were happening with, and I arrived on bequest of the leader of Nightstone at the time, and the town was abandoned. The people were gone. The remaining guards were basically pulling dead bodies out. There were goblins infested in the city. We had to get rid of the goblins. The townsfolk were taken captive by ogres and goblins. We had to get them back. We returned to the city, and there you guys are, trying to burst in. And just like you said, trying to get your foot in the foot in the door, but wrong place, wrong time. We're pulling these people away from ogres and from goblins, and for you to try and assume that I'm going to be compassionate to your people, they're going to try to take over, while these people are more or less just trying to get some structure back in their lives. Wrong place, wrong time. Your fault. Golden Fields, again, a town that was literally attacked by giants, ogres. I'm not sure if your compatriots were there when that happened, but that's what we did. We showed up in Golden Fields. We stopped the giants. We stopped the ogres. We stopped the goblins. So any foothold you wanted to do there, you wouldn't may very well not have even had a city to try to get a foothold in if we hadn't shown up. Bard's right. We were there, I don't know, 10 minutes. We didn't do anything. Just like you said, I think you have some really foggy information. You said it was pretty buggy, pretty foggy, the information you got back. That's because we weren't really there that long. We took a gentleman by the name of Shalvis up there and left shortly thereafter. Never went back. Baldur's Gate, that's the whole Mendelsohn mess. Again, you said you necessarily weren't directly hired on, but yeah, the Mendelsohns did hire you guys. The Icewing estate was nearly destroyed. There was a man accosted and basically taken to a slavers' camp on bequest of the Mendelssohns. Were you guys involved? Well, we ran into quite a few of you along the road. And now, by more informants, I'm being told that you met your way here to my family through slaves of the Mendelssohn family. There was no other connection other than you guys came in to meet Ibrahim, and just like you admittedly said, Casper, who you nearly killed. And you seem to be talking a big game that we're getting in your way, but it seems like, and I'm not going to use the word incompetence, but we'll just keep using your phrase. Wrong place, wrong time. You guys have been getting into our way. And I can tell you this, as far as just staying out of your business, quite frankly, I'm not interested in your business. But when you take my family captive, when you take my friends' families captive, it becomes our business. So where you can say, we just look the other way, turn the other cheek, I'm going to tell you this right now. Your constant failings of getting in business with the wrong people, your constant failings of being at the wrong place in the wrong time, these are going to be the cause of your own downfall. Now, if you think that there's any scenario where you guys come out on top of any of this, or we just look away, I'm sorry to say, but it's a little too late for something like that. Because regardless of how this turns out, if you live, you're going to be looking over your shoulder for the rest of your life. Because there is not one shred of compassion in my blood for you. That your business or your failings are happening the way that they are. Because you've been doing this to yourselves. And now you have my family.
Yeah, and he sits there the entire time, and he's gently nodding, and a couple times, as you're saying certain things, he, a little smile crosses his face. You mention Shalvis, and he gives you a little nod, and he kind of looks up at you, and he's got this, nice sized smile on his face. He says, "That's quite a story, man. Well, I can't say I expected this to go otherwise." Well, here's the thing. I mean, I guess if we're, down to brass tacks at this point, you basically just all but admitted that you have no intention of stepping away, of leaving things be. And, well, that's your prerogative. And I respect your truth. I respect that you have your path and you want to walk it. I really do. But here's the thing. I have your family, as you correctly pointed out. So right now, what I need from you, I guess since all the other pleasantries have been, dispersed of, I suppose, give me a reason not to kill your sister. Give me a reason not to sell your father to the drow. Like, I'm using them as leverage. I hope you can respect that. And I know it's a cruel thing I'm doing. I understand that. But I didn't just take your family for kicks, right? Like, you and I, this conversation is very plainly not going anywhere, and that's regrettable. I was hoping that you might be more, I guess, open to discussion than some of your friends, but I can see y'all seem to belong together, and, well, that's something. But ultimately, I need some sort of guarantee, and, well, you're not doing that. So we can do this, you and I. We can go to war. You can go to war with the organization, and you can see about it. You have confidence enough, but you have no way of, from where you're sitting that I can see, of saving your family. And he just kind of like leans back in the chair and like sips his water.
Negotiations are a quid pro quo scenario. It's a give and take. And you haven't told me anything that you want. You haven't given me any reason why you have my family, other than we're getting in your way. Well, I just detailed
The thing
that
is,
you're
though,
getting in your own way.
Well, see,
we have never stood in your way.
Yeah, and he sort of like puts his hand up. He says, well, that's the thing. That's, I think, a fundamental problem with perspective, right? See, because our organization is admittedly pretty vast, long reach, as it were. And the thing is, you seem to think we're getting in our own way, and we've got business to do, and we're trying to do business. I mean, you can't really argue that you weren't responsible for the undoing of the stuff in Baldur's Gate. Like, we're going to do the sort of business we do. That's not going to change. You're not going to cleanse my soul of that sort of thing. Like, that's the kind of business we do, and you got in the way of that. And like I said, you were right about a couple points, stuff about Barge Ride. I don't know the whole story. I know you were there. I do know that. Unfortunately, I can't really get a clear message of what happened there, as there's almost no one left alive. But again, I don't know. And you're right. There is some gray there. But, I mean, to lay it out for you, the thing is, like, the whole business in Baldur's Gate with the Ice Wings, like, I wasn't, I wasn't in charge of that. That's not my business. Again, not my office. But the business with Magnus, I mean, we were trying to use Magnus, as I understand it, to, open doors in the city. I mean, he was a slimy little prick. I don't know if you met him. Angry, and makes him kind of easy to manipulate. Well, forgive me, made him easy to manipulate. But so he was sort of a mark for us. It wasn't that we were working for him. We were kind of working him. Because that's the kind of business we do. He sort of outlived his usefulness. And it's regrettable, but what's done is done. Thing here is what's going on right now inside your inn here is I needed some leverage on one of you, right? And, well, the Icewing family was sort of out, and a couple of those people you run with, we can't seem to figure out who they are yet. It's going to take us some time. We'll get there. Of course, there's the young blonde girl, Liz, I think her name is. We know about her, but, your family's here. You got a couple sisters, and, well, it seemed like, honestly, your family was the easiest target for us. So we needed leverage on one of you, and ideally that leverage on one of you would relate to the rest of you. Again, I'm starting to realize that was probably never going to work. But all we want, Balaam, it's real simple, man. We just want you to stay out of our way. And I know you're going to make some argument about, well, you're getting in your own way. But that's not how we see it, and it's not going to be an argument you're going to be able to convince us of. Like, if you, let's say, come to another town and it becomes evident to you that maybe we're there doing some stuff, all I'm asking is you walk the other way. Just let it go. But, it's becoming pretty clear to me now that I don't think this is going to work. I mean, unless you have some suggestions. And I am open to conversation. That's why I'm here.
Do you know why we were in Baldur's Gate? Do you
But
know why we went there at all? Why we ever went to Baldur's Gate? Do you have any idea?
I mean, I assume it had to do with the Icewings.
Exactly. And if you had never got involved with the Icewing family, we never would have put foot in that city.
See,
There was
and
there was no other reason for us to be there.
he he
There was no reason
he
for
puts
us
his
to be
glass
there.
down and he just kind of says, "I can see now that this is a circular argument. You're going to keep blaming me, and I'm going to keep blaming you."
Well,
He said, "That's real regrettable."
it's beyond blame. It's beyond blame, and I think you're right in that regard. If it's just going to keep going in a circle, then we're just beating a dead horse. So to move on from there, again, here we are in Waterdeep, and you've kidnapped my family for no other reason than to say to stay out of your way. So if I say, okay, we're going to stay out of your way, then what? You leave?
Oh no,
It's that simple.
well, I mean, I'm not going to leave Waterdeep. See, this is the kind of problem that I kind of figured we might come upon. Is we've already sort of come to an impasse, I think, and it's just going to be another more barricades down the road. Because the thing is, you're right. I mean, I have no guarantee that you're going to stay out of our business. Like, even if you were nice enough, and obviously you're not, but if you were just polite and said, like, we'll stay out of your business, I have no guarantee that that's actually what you're going to do. You might just leave, go right down the road, circle back, and, try to wipe us out or whatever. You know what I mean? It's a weird sort of thing. So, yeah, I take your point. You're not wrong. I mean, I might be willing to leave your family alone, but I'm not going to leave Waterdeep, right? Like, I got business here. We got dealings. It's a big city. There's a lot going on.
You're an adult, and you have to make life choices like everyone else. And nothing I say here is going to change that. You're going to live your life, and you're going to do the things that you want. And everyone in the world is going to do the same thing. But if you wanted to take hostages in order to negotiate, there had to be some end game in your vision. And just saying, we want you to stay out of our way, which is just something I could say yes to. Again, there has to be something you're not telling me. There has to be more to this than what you're just saying here. Because why would you put yourself, and again, like you said, you're middle management. You're middle management. You're working for someone, and I'm sure you're maybe working on their behest. They may have put you in motion to do certain things. And I don't expect you to tell me everything as far as your operations and plans and whatnot. But if you want us to stay out of your way, if you want us not to get involved in your business, there has to be more than what you're telling me. Because what you're saying here, just like you've just just touched on, there's no guarantee. This is no negotiation. This is not a negotiation. There's nothing that I can say, whether positive or negative, that's going to make you believe what we're going to do. And there's no way that you can promise that you're not going to do something because you openly said you're staying in the city. Well, my family's in the city. So what's going to stop you from just coming right back here after we leave town?
Yeah, he kind of nods gently. He says, "Well, admittedly, man, when I first came here, I thought we could, just kind of hash this out, and I thought we could be amicable about it. But then, in truth, like I was willing to make an offer for you, to get this solved. But the thing is, I'd be lying if I said that your friends kind of didn't piss me off and put me off a little. I was more than willing to just have a conversation, and I thought we could just part our separate ways. But it's obvious to me now that you're right, and at this point, there's not a whole lot you can offer me. Not a lot I can offer you." Said, "I'm not real sure what else to say unless, well, I mean, there is one option. It's kind of extreme, though. Not sure you'd be entirely open to it, but worst I could do is make an offer. And he kind of like leans in on the table a bit. He says, I will leave your family alone. I will never come back. They can live their lives, perfect peace and harmony. But you have to give up your life and come with me.
What would I do for you?
Well, I mean, not much. I'm not saying you'd work for me. I'm just saying, you know, it'd be more of a prisoner situation. But, well, I figure it. At this point, I'm kind of at the end of my rope here. I
Well,
it would
this is
basically
my
it would basically guarantee, I think, that you would keep out of our business. Can't guarantee your friends, but
yeah. And again, I'm going to give you a counter offer. And the reason I have to give you this counter offer is because, again, just like your initial negotiation, your offer doesn't make any sense because it's not going to stop what's happening. It's not. So, first and foremost, as far as getting in your way, as we've already established, and I don't want to go around in a circle again, as we've established, it's typically been wrong place, wrong time, whether we're in the wrong place at the wrong time or you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. We seem to be just kind of accidentally getting in one another's way. So, as a show of good faith, this is what I'm going to ask. You free my sister for the time being. I go talk to my friends. We come up with a solution to our problems, and then we meet back at a later date, and we come to the final conclusion. During that time, we won't interfere with any of your operations. And again, that's the show of our good faith as part of our agreement. That's basically what you want. You want us out of your way. I want my family free.
right. But there's no guarantee about how long you'll be out of my way. You might just try to come here tomorrow, or you know, uh, it, I mean, I like where your head's at. I do. But
Well, as you said, I mean, you need your leverage, and you're a man of action that needs frightened elderly couples and girls at your bequest, and I'm leaving that elderly couple with you. That's all I'm asking is on a sign of good faith. On your word, you just give my sister back just to show that that's what your intentions are, that you don't intend to harm them. You would still have your, and I throw the quotation sign up, your leverage. And as I said, we wouldn't interfere. We meet a couple of days down the line, and again, we come to our final conclusion.
kind of nods, strokes his beard. All right, Balaam. As a show of good faith, I'll give you your sister back. He said, I'm not going to give her to you right now. This should be obvious. Uh, and the thing is, obviously, kind of what I do. So I hope you'll understand that, I'm going to have eyes on your sister and eyes on me when I leave here. So if somebody tries trailing me, I'm going to gut her like a fish in the streets. So
And
just so we're clear,
and again, this is where we trust one another. You tell me where to meet later today. I will meet you there alone.
nah, see, I don't think that works for me because I don't trust your friends. Here's what I'll do. I'll let your sister go. let's say, go to the beach after nightfall, and I'll get your sister to you.
This whole negotiation is based off of trust.
Yes, it is. So if you trust me, as you so say, then you're gonna find this agreement to your liking.
And you'll be there by yourself. And I will
Oh,
meet you by myself.
yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be there, but your sister will be there. I'll make sure she gets to you. She'll be safe and sound. I don't know that I need to be there.
Well, it is your word as the negotiator. That's typically how this works. If I'm trusting you, you're typically supposed to be the one that I'm there to trust. You're making things difficult.
All right, that's fair. All right, so we'll meet at the beach after nightfall tonight. He said, I'll bring your sister. But again, any fast motions, anything that gives me the jitters, he said it'll be the last time you see her.
Understood.
All right. And
That's-
yeah, he kind of like pushes his chair back and reaches
Yeah,
like
stand.
across the table to shake your hand.
I don't shake his hand. I
Yeah.
stand up. I just nod at him.
Okay. Yeah, and he starts to like clean his plate. Like he's gonna get his glass and the tray of food or whatever, and he's gonna like head back into the kitchen with it.
I just walk out the other way.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So you head out the door, and I'm gonna swap maps here. Bellion, what are you doing? This conversation, by the way, is probably taken, I'm gonna say, like 30 minutes.
Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure I was gonna be trying to, get up near the door and probably listen in a bit.
Yeah,
You
I mean, you could have.
Not being that sneaky, but obviously, like he's really not trying to be that stealthy. Just, he's there. Like, Valen probably opened the door and is like, oh, there's someone here with a cat.
Yeah, and I mean,
Yeah,
I definitely think that like you could have done that for sure.
there's no real stealth. He just walked across the street eventually and tried to listen in a little bit.
Yeah, so you could have heard a good clip of that for sure.
All right. Yeah, just sitting there staring at Valen, just shaking my head, be like, "Yeah, an idiot."
Okay. All right. So Valem, you go to leave and you meet up with Bellion, who's standing outside.
Why are you here?
Because unlike some other people, I am not so stupid. I kind of figured you'd be here.
Well, the whole idea of me coming here by myself is because you guys did do something stupid.
I left them where they were. It was someone else who tried to break them out.
Well, we've got other problems to deal with right now.
I will let you know he is going to kill you tonight.
Okay. You let me deal with that.
I have no doubt about it.
Okay. And so do you guys? I'm guessing you head back, or
Yeah, I start to walk back. Are any of these like something kind of like a pull-off kind of thing, like wanted, and people can just kind of take them and stuff like that?
I mean, they're not designed for that purpose, but yeah, you could rip one
Mhm.
off the wall if you wanted. Sure.
Yeah, I wanna take one with me.
Sure. Yeah, you can totally do that. Okay. And you guys, I'm assuming, are heading back to the Spires.
That's where I'm headed back. If Bellion's with me, I show him the wanted sign.
I'm sure I've seen one probably on the street. Be like,
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Bellion was sitting up in that tower, so you definitely saw the guards putting. You may not have been able to see from a distance what it is, but you saw them like lining the streets with these posters.
Oh, I'm gonna kill her.
I'm gonna stay at the inn and just hang out. Not gonna follow Eldon when he leaves, by the way.
Oh,
I'm
you're
not gonna hide from him either. Yeah, I'm just gonna hang out there and keep watch a little bit.
Are you staying in the tower, or are you actually going into the inn?
No, just standing kind of outside the inn, just having, some jerky, and be like, see you later.
Okay. All right. So, Valem, you start heading back alone back to the spires. So, in the meanwhile, what is everyone doing? Who's at the spires, which is everyone else? Selenda is.
Still
Go ahead.
probably just getting out of the bath.
That's what I was assuming. Yeah.
Beth wandered off to actually search the spires for Valem when she thought he was gone too long.
Okay. Sure.
Legend was probably doing some morning calisthenics.
Okay. Perfect.
I think Alton just
Stretching out those sore joints.
Yeah, well, I died yesterday, almost. But,
Oh, you big pansy.
well, I killed the guy who did it, so.
Alton is genuinely baffled where the hell Oz is because he does not remember.
It's in the kitchen.
Can't you?
Yeah, I know.
Can't you
That's why
telepathically
I've got the
communicate
key.
with him?
He has to be within a certain range, I think.
It's a mile, I think.
For now. No, it's like 100 feet, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now it's nothing. I could summon him back if I wanted to, but I tend not to do that.
Okay.
Alton.
Hmm?
Have you ever used him to peek on us when we're naked?
What? I will
Gives you
admit,
this a very dirty look.
up until this very moment, I had not considered it, but now, maybe in the future.
If I ever catch him, I will kill you. I will freeze your little penis and I will snap it off like a popsicle.
Jesus.
That's specific, but at least you touched me.
Okay.
Me-
But I have no intention of that, so don't worry about it.
So you guys are moving around, and Delvarian is like doting basically on all of you. He's trying to like Reginald, when you're doing your calisthenics, he's like trying to offer you like a poultice that he's made that can help limber up joints. And Selenda, he disappears for like an hour or two, and he comes back with this very small, and I think you would recognize it more or less immediately. Like he brings you what looks like the starting of like soap. Like he's like making some handheld soap for you. Aldenite, you're just I think Delvarian is kind of like just kind of watching you to see what you're doing, and Elizabeth, as you're kind of walking around the spires, you do see people do take note, and it's a very pleasant place. Like there's no it just feels kind of serene. There's windows everywhere that lets in sunlight. Natural sunlight is obviously important. To a temple of Lathander. You see a bunch of young acolytes. You see like older priests. It's quite a busy place. And I think that as you're kind of wandering around looking for Valem, like I imagine it's that thing where like Elizabeth kind of pops her head into a room to see what it is, to try to get a feel for it. And like as you back out of the room, like you realize down next to you that there is like a small looking man, like just standing there with his arms crossed behind his back, and he's just like staring at you. And as you make eye contact with him, it's very obvious very quickly that he's a dwarf. And he's got a very full, thick red beard, but his head is actually completely shaved. And he just sort of looks at you. Hey, can I help you, lassie?
Hi. Sorry. I'm looking for, Brother Miris. It's so weird to call him that. Valem.
Aye.
He didn't come back from morning prayer this morning. So I'm just a little concerned.
Well, the name sounds familiar, but I don't know that I know him by look. Who might you be?
Elizabeth. Volkov. I'm a friend of his. Visiting the city for, just visiting the city to see Valem and his family.
Yeah, and he his lips turn up in a little bit of a smile. He says, "Hi, well, Elizabeth Volkov, it's nice to meet you. My name's Brutus. Everyone just calls him Boltran, though." And he kind of reaches out one of his hands.
Voltron?
No, Baltran.
I thought you said Voltron too. I'm like,
See, I actually
What is
wrote
Voltron?
it.
The defender of the universe.
Can he be Voltron instead?
That's what I'm
she'll
putting in
shake
my
his
notes.
hand. I'm sorry, I don't mean to disturb anyone. I'm trying to not bother anybody, but this place is huge.
Aye, that it is. So you said you're looking for your friend here and his family?
Well, I was with him earlier, but like I said, he didn't come back from morning prayer. We're both kind of the early sorts, so I was just wondering if he wandered off and being new to the city-ish. I figured this would be the first place to find him.
Well, aye. I'm sorry that you can't find him. If you'd like, I can escort you around for a bit.
No, that's not necessary. Again, I'm not trying to get in anybody's way. I'm trying to stay out of the way.
Oh, no,
Um,
you're not in the way at all, lass. It's very uncommon for me to meet a lass such as yourself. I don't mind at all. Come on, let's go. And he, like, reaches his elbow out for you to, like, take.
She'll humor him. Again, she's trying to be polite, but yet keep a low profile, and it's just not going well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's, like, walking you along, and he starts to, like, pat you on the hand a bit. He's like, so, where are you from, Elizabeth Volkov?
You can just call me Beth. Oh gosh, full names are weird. Originally outside Daggerford.
Oh, aye, I've been there, not for a while. It's quite a town. What brought you out here?
Visiting
I saw it
Balaam
from...
and his family?
Yeah, I saw it from that. That's the sole reason for you to come out here. I mean, I don't mean to be rude. You just seem a bit out of place.
Farm girl, big city. Yeah, out of place. I mean, there's other things going on, but the main reason is just visiting family. And she's clearly uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like, if he notices, he's not displaying it. Like, he's not showing you that he recognizes you're nervous. And he keeps walking with you, and he says, "Well, I mean, while you're here, I suppose it would be right of me to talk to you about Lathander. But of course, I don't want to push it on you. Do you have a god?"
No, not particularly. I mean, I appreciate, like, again, I know what Balaam does, and I think it's great. I think he does great work for the faith, his faith. And I'm a morning person, so, I mean, Lathander does, just fine by me. I just don't, no offense, but the cloistered life wasn't anything that was really an option growing up on a farm.
Aye, well, cloister's life's not for most of us. I can understand that, though. And he's like still walking through like the spires, and he kind of like he comes to an area where there's like this large open room, again, vast windows. There's like tapestries on the walls that represent the sun, and there's like a large fountain against the wall. He says he like unhooks his arm from yours. He says, "Would you like to join me? I'm just gonna stop for a bit of meditation. I think it might do you good."
I appreciate the offer, but I should be getting back. For all I know, he's come looking for me now, and we're just gonna go in circles.
Well, the offer's on the table should you require it. Now, I'll be around if you want to come find me. It's been a pleasure, Elizabeth Volkov.
You too, Brother Baltrand?
You can just call me Brutus if it makes you comfortable. He kind of gives you a little wink.
And she kind of nods. Brutus works better. Again, formalities are just weird. And she'll kind of do like this awkward kind of semi-bow curtsy thing before like shuffling out.
Yeah, and he kind of like gives you a wink and smiles at you, and he watches, like he won't turn his back on you, like he's respectful. He waits for you to walk away.
So she takes a few like steps backwards before like turning and scurrying and finding her way back to the cottage.
Okay. All right, so I think about this time, like, Valem, you've probably arrived, and you're just, like, walking into the courtyard as Elizabeth probably, like, comes up behind you. But nobody else has noticed your presence yet.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So she's coming up on me, or I come up on her?
No, I think she arrives behind you. She doesn't, because you take different like methods of getting there because you're more familiar with the spires. Whereas Elizabeth takes longer to get there because she's not. She takes a left and
I
realizes.
get lost. Yeah, I take a left and I go out the side entrance, but then from there I just go around and then no, wait, thing was in the center. It's not going to be in the back. Go back in.
Yeah, so Valem, you arrive, and then there's like a pause as Elizabeth arrives right behind you. Like she kind of turns the corner, and Elizabeth, you realize you actually found what you were looking for. So you're almost shocked.
There you are. Oh, jeez, this place is massive.
Yeah, so you could easily get lost here, Beth.
Yeah. Is everything okay?
There are a few things we need to discuss. One thing I do want to mention, I didn't have time to do this last night. I want to thank you for what you did the other night, or last night, keeping my sister safe.
Of course. I mean,
I know you
did the same
guys
for me.
keep saying, you know, you guys are all on board with this, but you don't know how much this means to me. The time that and the effort that you guys are putting into this. But just by you staying with her, by staying safe and making sure that she made it to the temple safely, that was very important to me. I want to let you know that I'm sincerely grateful for everything that you've done.
I've got a little brother, an older brother too, but you do the same for me, and quite frankly, I'm just kind of a tag along here. I've got big goals, giants, yeah, but you guys come first. You've been great friends that I met randomly on the road. I've learned a lot from you guys. So, don't mention it, and anytime.
Where are the others?
Celinda was taking a bath. Alton, I think, was still asleep in the poppies. And I don't know where Reggie went. But Casper's up. Or was up.
Oh, that's
And,
good to hear. That's very good to hear.
Yeah, so let's get you back before somebody starts to worry. And she kind of blushes because she's the one who panicked first.
All right, let's head back. So I will lead us back to where Delvarian is staying.
Mm-hmm.
Since I'm under the impression that eventually they'll all make their way back there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, so you guys arrive, and I think Delvarian hears you coming before everyone else because he's accustomed to, he's more accustomed to the way the sound works here in this place. And I think Reginald, like Delvarian is talking to you, and like he's trying to emulate you as you're, doing your calisthenics, and he's trying to learn some calisthenics as you're doing it.
And I'll tell him, nope, not like that. You got to keep your foot sideways in this one, and
yeah,
correct his posture sometimes when I see him starting to emulate it.
Yeah, and like as you're doing that, he suddenly gets a little stiff, and he kind of turns and looks back, and you, Reginald, follow his gaze, and you see Valem and Elizabeth coming through into the garden. And Delvarian kind of lights up Valem at seeing you, and he immediately, Reginald, he stops what he's doing with the calisthenics, and he rushes over to you, Valem. Welcome back, brother. You've been gone quite some time. I was quite worried. Where have you been? Hello.
Whoops, I was paused, muted. I just took a walk around town. It's been a while since I've been in Waterdeep, so I wanted to stretch my legs and see a few things.
Oh, of course, of course. Would you like something to eat? I've got some fresh fruit, some vegetables, not a lot of meat, but if you need anything, I've got tea.
Just something simple. That'd be great.
Oh,
I'm really just waiting for my companions to get back. But
right. Well,
I want to. I'm sure we just keep overstepping on each other while we're talking. And that's probably typical.
Yeah.
Delvarian's probably very.
Yeah, he
expresses himself quite a bit.
Yeah, he's very excitable, and so he says, "Oh, well, right away. Of course, your friend here. I believe he was sleeping. And he you notice a slight blush across his face. Your other friend, she's taking a bath. Yes, she's not very modest, I guess that one. But I will go retrieve her, I guess.
I'll do it.
And like he
Let
looks at
her
you with the most
let her
genuine
finish.
smile, like Beth. He is so happy. He like reaches out and takes your hands. He said, "Oh well, thank you. That would be quite wonderful." And he is like
With,
genuinely super pleased.
with my free hand, I'll just kind of pat Balaam on the shoulder and walk off
This poor man.
to get Celinda, with whom, if she's not already out of the bath, is
Yeah, she
depending
should
on-
be out of that by now.
Okay.
yeah. Oh, good. I don't have to splash you or snap a towel or something. Come on.
All right.
Balaam needs
She's
to talk.
half dressed. Just walks out.
And at this point, Beth is actually surprisingly comfortable with Celinda's nudity.
Okay. Yeah. So Reginald, you're kind of left there in the courtyard with Valem, and Delvarian is there. Alton, do you hear the commotion?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. So I imagine Alton probably begins to approach.
Yeah. Just now that everybody's back, getting up and dusting off his trousers, considering he's been sitting in a garden.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So yeah, you guys all kind of come back together. Bellion is of course absent. He's back at the inn. Yeah. So what do you guys talk about?
So, gentlemen, I took a little walk this morning, and we're going to have one of our meetings again. I'm going to recommend that we go to the beach again to have this conversation.
Are we going to get to play in the water this time?
You just got out of the bath.
I'm joking, Beth.
Do you think it's best to head to the beach? I think that's
That's fine with me.
Absolutely.
Again, it's a matter of
You don't need to keep explaining yourself. This is
we don't know who's around us. We
situation.
don't know who's around us. So yes,
You don't trust your friend.
it's not my friend in general, but again, as I've explained before, this interim are everywhere, and we don't know who they are. So it's not necessarily my friend, but we're here in the temple. There are people around. Anyone could be watching or listening in.
Fair enough.
Okay.
But I do
Montage, walk to the
kind
beach.
of walk over to Celinda and slide her that parchment
Oh, bugger.
and give her a little
That
smile and a wink.
Bitch! Oh, I'm gonna kick her ass.
I don't
Yeah.
recommend that if you're in enough.
You might want to be a bit discreet the remaining time that you're here in Waterdeep. At least until
I
we can
am
get
going
this
to ruin
cleared
her
up.
life.
So much for discretion.
Why does she want to pick on me?
Did something happen after I left?
She said something really creepy to me. She said, I've been dreaming about having you in my possession or some weird shit like that. She's creepy.
Hmm.
I don't know why she's fixated on me, okay? Maybe she's got a crush. I don't know.
You know, we
Have
could always
to-
be forthright about this. Turn yourself in, pay a fee.
I don't have any money, Beth.
But we do.
We don't need to be using that on freaking... I didn't do anything wrong.
Well, one of the things I mentioned is we wanted the law on our side when all of this goes down.
Well, I'm going to have to talk to her then. Because this is ridiculous and I didn't do anything wrong. I mean,
The other
Just-
thing we need to be cautious about is just like in Baldur's Gate. Again, the magistrate was under this interim's thumb.
that too. I don't feel like that's her. I think she's just on a power trip. I mean, I could always infiltrate the guards.
Selenda,
What?
as I realize I'm starting to sound like the Selenda. Grigwin, thank you.
All right, Greg Gwen.
Shall we go then?
Sure, but I guess I'm gonna have to change my appearance.
Well, we don't have everyone here.
Who's missing?
Yeah, where's Bellion?
Bellion.
Ellian's always gone, and it's your fault. And she points at Alton.
I think he was upset.
It is my fault.
You turned
Far
him
as
into a rat.
Yes, I did.
Apparently, he followed me this morning, and when I came back, I showed him the parchment with your likeness on it, Selena,
Lovely.
and told him I was headed back to the temple, but yeah, he chose
I
not
don't-
to follow.
I don't like the idea of that man being at your father's inn. He's way too impulsive.
In fairness, that was my problem. But
Oh.
he managed to convince Oz that he was going to join the Zentarum. Thinking about it a bit more,
Are we going to walk to the beach or not?
I
Before
hope
we
so.
continue this type of conversation.
Yeah,
point,
I
Richard.
Good
definitely
point.
agree.
Yeah. Maybe I can find out some information about this guard woman on the way.
Okay, so you guys are leaving the garden altogether.
Yeah, I'm gonna cast alter self on myself as well.
Okay, what are you gonna look like?
Probably the exact opposite of what she looks like right now. So dark hair, light skin,
A man.
dark eyes.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and Delvarian sees you guys like heading out, and he kind of runs up behind you. Valem says, "Oh, you're all leaving. You're coming back. Oh dear, I haven't offended, have I? I mean, should I?"
Friend, no. I kind of grab him by his shoulders. Dill, you've been more helpful than I could ever have asked. We're certainly going to be back. We just have some work to do. You've done a great job of it so far. If you can just continue to keep an eye on my sister and Casper, it would be much appreciated.
Of course, right away. And he like turns and like starts to, and like yeah, he like spins on his heel and like it's obvious that he almost falls, tripping over himself as you do that. Sil.
Could you do me a favor, gal?
Yeah. Yes, and he's super hard, trying not to make eye contact with you.
Those nice robes that your priestesses wear. Do you think I could borrow one?
Oh, well, I suppose so. And like Valem, he looks at you like, I don't know. What do I do here?
I shrug.
And he says, I could I could maybe find one for you. Oh no.
In my size.
Well, on such short notice, it might be difficult, but if you'll give me a few moments.
Okay.
Oh, right. And he's like super nervous, and he like hustles himself out of the garden. And several minutes pass, and he comes back, and he's got like a handful of robes. And he's got like 3 robes on each arm, and he just like thrusts them out at you. I suspect one of these may work for you.
Okay, she'll go through them, see if there's one in her size.
Yeah, there's definitely one that is too big for you. Like it looks more like a like pajamas than a robe.
Is it really, really big? Like
It's not. No, I mean you're not like
comically big?
no.
It's like boyfriend clothes big.
Right, exactly. There you go. Yeah, it's not comically big, but it's definitely not built for you. And there's
She'll keep that one
and
in her bag.
there's nothing flattering about it. Like if you put it on, there's like it just makes you look like a pillow. Like you can't see any of your curves. Like it ruins.
That's fine. It's just not what she wants it for.
Okay.
Does it look like it fit a man?
It looks like it was probably designed for a man. Yes.
She transformed into Aldo. Does it fit Aldo?
The problem there is, I think with Alter Self, it doesn't actually change your physical your physical size.
It does. It
It's
does.
disguise self that doesn't.
Oh,
It does. Alter Self physically changes you. You can breathe underwater and shit with it.
Okay.
There's still limitations on like size, but
I mean, yeah, I still have to be a medium creature, but I can make myself bigger and smaller.
Yeah,
to
it
a
would
certain
definitely
degree.
be built more for a man of Aldo's size. Yeah.
All right, she's gonna keep that one in her bag just in case she has to become a big dude.
Okay.
And then she'll pick one that's more like actually her size.
Okay. Yeah, and the one that you find is look like it's a little older. In places it's threadbare. It's not revealing in any way, but like it's definitely older. Like it hasn't like it needs some repairs done to it. But it'll fit you.
All right, that was the one she'll wear.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, Delvarian kind of looks to you guys and says, "Is there anything else? Oh geez. I mean, and Balaam, he looks at you. I should probably tend to your sister. No, unless there's something else you need. Oh dear.
Just keep your eye on him, my friend. Thank you.
Of course. And he like backs up quickly and like heads back to the cottage. Yes, you guys, you all make your way to the beach. That's the plan, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you guys are all heading out, and definitely on your way out, Elizabeth, you catch a certain dwarf's eyes as he's like leaning up against the frame of a large room, and he's just kind of leaning up against it, and he just looks at you, and he sees you and all your friends leaving, and you see he's definitely taking note of you guys, and he looks at you and gives you a smile, and just like a polite little wave, like like have a nice day.
Do I get any weird vibes from that type of attention? I guess like
What kind of
she's-
weird vibes are you?
I'm getting that. So she's used to being hit on for one thing. She's kind of used to Valem's kind of I guess religious niceties. But does this strike her as something beyond that?
I mean, he seems to be being polite. Like it just seems to be, polite, caring. I mean, maybe she thinks it's odd. I'm not going to say she doesn't.
I couldn't do like an insight check to see if he's. Essentially, I want to know if he's a plant, if he's one of the reasons we're going to the beach. Essentially,
Yeah, you can give me an insight check.
No.
He just seems like he's being very polite, and he's concerned for your well-being.
Yeah, so she'll just kind of smile. I'm assuming she's somewhat near Valem, and she'll kind of just point and give a thumbs up, and then just keep walking.
Okay. All right, so yeah, you guys head out, and it's a fairly warm day. It's probably early afternoon at this point, and like I'm thinking like 10 o'clock, 11 a.m., something like that. As you guys head out to the beach. So yeah, it takes you a few minutes, and Valem, I imagine, leads the pack. As he's more familiar with the city, he can get you there faster, and kind of weaving through people and crowds and things, and you make your way to the beach, and even as early as it is, there's people here, like a lot. There's people here playing games, the D&D equivalent of Frisbee. There's some people.
Discus.
There's some people flying kites. There's a bunch of people, especially small children, like playing in the water. And yeah, and the day is warming up, so as you're arriving, more people are arriving. So what do you want to do?
Kiss, try to find the most secluded area. Even if it means going maybe north
Yeah, I mean, you could
out
walk
of the city limits.
Yeah, you could walk a ways if you wanted to, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you guys head north along the beach. I assume
The most important thing is I want to stay on the sand so that we can see if there's any footprints, like if there's anyone invisible following us or anything like that.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, and so yeah, you guys head north, and it takes you quite a while. I assume those of you like Valem and Reginald, you guys are wearing your armor, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely do get some looks some of the beachgoers. And there are, of course, guards here. They're scattered. There's almost like lifeguard stations, but instead of being lifeguards, they're just guards. And you definitely get some looks from people as you're kind of passing on by. You're kind of not wearing the appropriate attire. But people just sort of like see you and they, keep going. I definitely think one of you like maybe accidentally walks through what you don't realize is like a game of discus, and like you guys have to either duck or like catch the discus and like throw it back.
Beth would totally try and catch it if it came at her.
Okay, sure. Yeah, give me an acrobatics check. Yeah, and the thing.
I get a little too enthusiastic and run into like Reggie.
Yeah. And she bumps you, slam into the back of Reggie, and the discus just goes flying over your head. And
I want to catch it.
I mean, after that happens, you can make an acrobatics check, but it'll probably be at disadvantage because now Elizabeth has bumped into Reggie and
We're stumbling.
Okay. Yeah, so it kind of like flies past you, Elizabeth, as you bump into Reggie. Selenda, you just sort of like jump up on your tippy toes and you just barely manage to grab it.
Sorry, Reg.
That's all right.
But you do grab it and you hear a voice coming from like closer to the water that's like, "Oi. Hey." And he's like, he just looks like a young guy, like maybe like, 14. Like his hands are empty. He's like looking at you to throw it to him.
Now, son, you need to take better care of your toys. And she throws it to him.
Okay. Give me let's say another acrobatics check. Okay, so yeah, you begin to throw to him, and it looks like it's heading in his direction, but it turns out that throwing this is actually harder than it looks, and it like veers off at the last second to the left, and ends up going like dunking in the water, and he just turns back and looks at you, and throws his hands up, like, really? And he like turns on you and just like plodding off into the water to go get the discus.
And he's attacked by a shark.
Lathander gives, and Lathander takes away.
Oh my god.
Okay, so he gets the discus, and you guys keep walking. And like you see the two of them, like I think the two young boys kind of come together, and they're just like staring off at you as you guys like walk away. But yeah,
She flashes them. Just kidding.
Okay, so you guys continue walking north for a while until you probably get close to like the cliffs, right? Because they're kind of cliffs north of the beach a bit, and some of those like smaller islands and stuff. And you start getting closer to that way, and there's very few people up this far. So yeah, you can definitely find a secluded place. You do not get the impression, you don't see any footsteps following you if you're looking for them.
Yeah. All right, so I went for a bit of a walk. I went back to the inn after the events of last night, and I met with Aldo. And we sat down and talked about why they're here and what it is that they're doing. And to be quite frank, I can't help but think there's more information to this. That they're literally hiding something. That there's something happening that they're trying to get us to, more or less, to stop doing. He mentioned, and some of you weren't here for a lot of this, but he mentioned the incidents in Nightstone when with Zentarum showed up there. He mentioned an incident in Golden Fields, and quite frankly, I don't recall anything that interfered. He didn't specifically mention anything in great detail, but then he went on to mention Barge Right, which is where we took I'm kind of blanking. Seamus, yeah.
Yeah.
We weren't there for long.
Reginald doesn't know that.
No, we really weren't, and
We got sick and left.
he made it seem like there wasn't a lot of information that he's able to gather because there's not a lot of people left there. I don't know.
A big thing.
I don't know.
What?
I don't know if this has something to do
Iago.
with more giants or. And at the mention of
bet you
Iago, I
Iago.
kind of shrugged my shoulders. Like, I don't know.
Okay, we're all jumbling over each other. So what? We've been crossing paths with them unintentionally and unknowingly ever since the whole Kella thing?
Well, that's his that's what he's making it seem like.
That's a veiled thing of bulldog.
Yeah, exactly. It seems, and we kept throwing the term wrong place, wrong time, wrong place, wrong time, and we kind of went in a circle. That he kept bringing up the what we did in Baldur's Gate, and I mentioned literally the only reason we were there is to get Celinda's parents back because of what they had already done.
Did
So
they
it was a
really?
cause that we were there because of what they had done. And
Was I
basically-
supposed to
Yes, I-
just let
basically-
them do that to
basically-
my parents?
No, of course
precise.
not.
It certainly wouldn't be expected, no. But basically, the conversation just went around and around. And this is what leads me to think that there's a little more to it than what he's putting on. Now, he didn't have a quick solution to this other than he wants us to stay out of their business.
I'm gonna
When
tell
I
Kella.
pointed out the fact that there's literally nothing that I can physically do to say, okay, we're going to stay out of your business.
Not
When
without
I
them
pointed
giving us
out
a
the
list of their
weakness of his
plans.
negotiation, he, I guess, kind of agreed to that. Now, I told him that no, we're not going to intentionally try to do that. And in good faith, I wanted him at least to return Misha back to us. And I've agreed to meet him later today to recover her from their grasp. Now,
I'm not letting Kella get away.
Is she even here?
One thing at a time,
No.
Celinda.
Yeah.
What are you meeting alone or we're going with you, right?
well, this is why I specifically want to talk to you guys outside of this. We had a plan yesterday. A group was supposed to go to my inn and scout, just get information, and it turned bad. Obviously, as you guys are well aware. So I do want to do this alone, but I wanted you to know where I was going to be in case something does go other than planned.
What if he tries to hurt you, Balaam?
Well, I might just have to try to hurt him.
Then you'll be all alone. We can't let that happen to you, Balaam.
I'm never alone. Lathander's always with me.
And you left the negotiations unharmed.
Do you have to be alone?
Yes.
Do you have to be alone because that's the agreement or because that's what you want?
That's the agreement that I made. And this whole negotiation is based on our word, essentially. So if I go against what I agreed to, there's no reason for him to keep up his side of the bargain. And again, this is putting my own family at risk.
Well,
So
I don't like
again,
the thought of you going alone, but after what happened with us yesterday, I feel, it's your family and your choice, and
Can we have Oz at least go with you and track him back to where he goes?
I'm gonna go there alone.
Yes, but Oz could go with you, invisible.
It's not alone, Celinda.
I'm not going to agree with that. No.
Quite frankly,
Now-
this is my fault to begin with. So, if this is what you want to do, I overreacted when Oz told me something last time. I will let you're the captain on this one.
Okay.
I don't want you going there alone, Balaam.
Now, one thing I do want to say,
Hey guys,
and
I'm so sorry. I need. There's a minor emergency. I need to step away. I'll try to be about 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Okay.
okay,
okay. Should we just continue our conversation?
I mean, yeah.
I don't think it's
he's recording,
pertinent.
right?
I don't think it's pertinent much anyway. Nothing that would
I
really
just
kind
hope
of
he's okay.
throw
It's
him one
between you
way or
guys,
the other.
right?
Basically, what I'm saying is I'm going to go there, but there's not.
We're gonna
That's
be
not
close
saying
by.
you guys can't do anything else because
We're
they're
gonna
still
have to be close
holding.
by though.
They're still holding my parents. And as we've kind of discovered before, like with my sister Vistoria, they were keeping her somewhere else. They're not going to bring my parents back to the inn. So this is something where maybe we try and get in touch with Miyuki again. I know she was iffy on how valuable she was.
Sending her, if nothing else.
Yeah. But if they can assist in finding my parents, and again, please don't kick the door in, try to break them out, anything like that, but more or less just kind of find out where they're being held, how many people are there, that kind of thing, so that we can develop a plan, no half-cocked
Well,
missions.
this is up to you. You're the one with the sending.
But,
You and Alton are the only two people that can sending. If you want a sending for Miyuki, see if she can.
And I mean, we don't necessarily need her. I mean, if it's our last resort, perhaps. But
That's what I mean. I mean,
I don't think Alton can do it either because he hasn't met her.
I haven't met her.
Well, here's what I'm saying. Like, why, if we were gonna get Miyuki to come do this anyways, why don't we just get Alton to have O's trail Aldo invisible?
They'll expect something at this point. They know we can use magic now.
if I show up there, and again, if anything happens against what I told him, and that was that I was going to meet him alone, my family is in danger. He already said he would kill Misha right then and there. Keeping my family alive is the most important thing at this point.
I understand that, but we can't let you die either.
You're meeting him here on this beach.
Yes.
So if we were, say, the stairs we took down to get here, if we were just obviously hanging out there, but away from you,
Within 500 feet.
if they have eyes on us, then they'll know that if we're all together and not doing anything. But
If
then
we
if
do
something goes
anything
wrong, we can get there close.
if we do anything outside of the terms of the negotiation, they have no reason to keep my family alive. So please, 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 please don't try to follow me. Don't be on the beach when this happens. Just let this happen. I just want you to know where I'm going to be. So if I don't come back within a reasonable amount of time, you'll at least know where I have been. What I'm asking you guys to do in the meantime is maybe ask around, maybe see if we have some companions in town, if you have any contacts. I have already asked Asher to try to send information to the magistrates here to assist us. Maybe see how that's going. There's a pretty big issue going on right now with Celinda. Maybe while this is happening, we try to clean that up. But ultimately, I need you guys to try to do what's best for my family right now, and that's keeping them alive.
Unfortunately.
Hi, Captain.
It's a tough situation. I don't want you to die, Valem. What if they
No.
attack you?
I have other things to do, and that means I can't die. So as long as you have plans, it's just the way it works.
That is not how it works, Valem. Don't
Celinda,
just not die because you've got plans for the future.
Celinda, I assure you, I will not die tonight.
You better not, or I am going to something.
Kill him?
I will make your afterlife hell.
Well, I wouldn't want that.
Damn right.
Do you know what time you're meeting him?
Sundown.
Now, I know you don't want it to be followed. I know that rules out O's. Can we have some way to track you, maybe, if something goes wrong? This way, if you start going in the wrong bloody direction, we have an idea. Is that against your plan?
How would you do that?
I'm making sure that it's
Well-
possible before I even start thinking.
It is, I guess. I mean, I have to stay
Yes.
somewhat close. I mean, how big is the beach with Sean being back? Like, how long? How deep is it from?
Oh, Hunter's Mark.
Well, no, that's not going to work as much as well as locate object on his symbol of Lathander.
Locate object too. Cool. I was thinking about that, but I thought only Balaam had it.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what part of the beach you're at. From like grass to water is probably, I don't know, ballparking like maybe I think 100
500.
yards. I was gonna say like 100 yards seems too many.
I'm looking at based on the little measurement thing down the bottom of the map. Looks like it's about half that full length, 1,000 feet. I think that's his feet,
Okay.
like from the wall to the coastline.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it would probably be like 500 feet of from the grass to the water. Yeah.
Do you know where on the beach you're meeting him? Actually,
Oh.
no.
Locate object only lasts like 10 minutes, though.
Yeah.
Concentration up to 1 hour. Oh no, that's Hunter's Mark. Look at the wrong thing.
Might be enough to give us
Is it-
a clue.
I think
on-
Doesn't
it's-
Hunter's Mark scale up to? If you
I can't
cast-
upcast to level 3 yet. I'm only at level
Oh.
level 2 spells.
I got you.
I mean, locate object for 10 minutes. If it's just supposed to be an exchange of peoples, it shouldn't take more than 10 minutes. I follow you as far as the beach. I find a cafe to sit out of the way. Even if they've got eyes on me, I'm just nearby. I'm not watching. I can't see if they do anything. And it's just me. Everybody else can go. Just me.
I just.
Balaam,
no.
trust me that much.
And again, in 10 minutes, is it going to take? Am I going to stand on the beach longer than 10 minutes? Probably.
And
I'm
and
sure
if
they
you-
want me to go down there at sundown just to ensure I wasn't followed or anything like that. So
And then I just use it again. I mean, I know what I'm looking for. I don't need to stare at it before I cast it.
I don't want to endanger my family. I know you guys are trying to look out for me, but that's not what's important right now. If we do this and it just gets my family killed, then it defeats the purpose of doing any of this. If my family dies, then my life might as well be forfeit. Because there will be nothing else for me to live for.
Well, I know the feeling.
You have to understand that. I'm not going to agree to anything that's going to endanger that.
All right.
Wait a minute.
You
can cast spells.
Okay, so let me. I want to go sit at the inn.
Yeah, perhaps we should look for more clues.
I mean, if they're going to be watching us anyway, I might as well sit in plain view. We all might as well. Like, why make it hard for them? They'll know right where we are.
Well,
It's
And again, there are other things that need to be cleared up. And I kind of look back at Celinda.
I think starting back at
I know.
us being back at Valem's Inn is a good place. You know, we're far enough away that they'll obviously know we're there. They have eyes on the inn as much as us, I'm sure. We can ask around some locals there, maybe. See what they know. See if they've seen any of these people going and coming other places.
I just don't want us to be distracted. Celinda, no offense. I mean, yeah.
Why is it always me you're picking on?
Well, you got yourself into trouble by
Yeah, you're the
whatever
one
you
on the
did to get
poster.
yourself on those wanted posters.
Do you know what I did to get on those wanted posters? I
Nope.
murdered a guy that was trying to get away and would have fucking told on us about saving his other sister. Should I have just let him get away?
Maybe. It's done. It doesn't matter. It's just now we have to focus, do something. And it just, Balaam's right. We have to do what's in the best interest of his family.
Yes,
And
obviously.
I don't know. I just I don't know how to help. I sleeping in a barn with his sister. I can do that. I mean, tracking you to an extent, I can do that too. But I mean, I'm not an investigator.
Well, like I said, there are other things that need to be taken care of while I'm doing
If he
this.
wants to do
So
this on his own, he can do this on his own. It is his family.
Just
Agreed.
try and find a way to let us know if shit hits.
I'll certainly
wall.
let you know one way or another what transpires.
I'm not an escaped felon.
Beth doesn't know the details, so she can't counter that.
Protecting myself.
Okay, so yeah, you guys work the plan out, and then what's next? I mean, does anyone like Bellion? You're just hanging out at the inn.
Pretty much wait until Aldo leaves, and then was gonna go around back and get O's essentially to get him fuck out finally.
Yeah, Oz is probably just sitting in the kitchen eating the bacon.
Eating the
Let's be
bacon.
upfront.
Yeah, is he still
Raw.
Would he still be invisible?
Probably only because no one ever told him not to, but he would still be eating. You'd be watching bacon fly and
Right,
disappear.
exactly. Yeah.
Also, the cat can see him.
True.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, be like,
Yeah,
Marcus,
so
where is he?
you Bellion start to walk into the back of the inn, and I think the cat, the Tressum is still like rubbing itself on your legs, and there's some reluctance there, like you've wandered pretty far away from its home.
I keep feeding it, jerky and stuff.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's sort of like following you, but sometimes it falls back. And I think when you guys go to the inn and you open the back door, there's like a beat where the Tressum isn't with you, and it sort of kind of comes up to your legs, and then you immediately hear it, like it spreads its wings and starts hissing up into the kitchen.
It is fine. Oz, come here. Come here, you little impy bastard. We're going out.
And yeah, the imp is still invisible, and like I think you can see floating like a piece of bacon, and you see like some munching going on, like you see a piece of the bacon disappear,
Yeah,
and then like
disappears.
the piece of bacon just like turns to you. And I think maybe you can see, like, as it's chewing, because obviously it's an imp, so it chews with its mouth open. So, like, little bits of bacon are flying onto the ground. I don't know. Like, Alton, I'm gonna have you, deal with this. Like,
Yeah, no.
does
Hey, that's not my orders.
I know where they are. Come on. I know where they have gone.
You know he can just summon me, right?
He hasn't done it yet. He wasn't doing it last night. You're still here.
So
Let's go.
why would I go with you when you're betraying everybody?
You are stupid. Do you remember
Not
what I
that
said?
stupid.
Do you remember what I said before that part? Trying to get them out. Remember that part? Think for a moment. Now come on, I get the second shoulder.
I ain't sitting on your shoulder.
Well, you
But-
can sit on my head. I don't care.
I can fly. But
People
okay.
might notice that.
I'm invisible.
We can
Has-
hear you. They saw you last night.
Oh.
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 Oh. Yeah. Let's go.
Grabs more bacon.
Oh yeah, make sure to take it all. It all looks very good.
Oh, okay, never mind. You're better than.
All of it. Yeah. Put it in my bag. I can carry it all.
Oz steals the bacon.
And I essentially start heading towards the beach.
okay?
And I'm gonna pick up the cat and pet it to try to keep it, calm as we're going through the street. See how long it'll before it freaks out. Keep feeding it.
Yeah, and I think most of what it is that the Tressum is spooked by the imp. So like you have to try to keep it calm as you're moving along, and people are definitely
Exactly.
taking notice because there's this weird, dark-skinned man walking through the streets.
Dark skin. I am completely white as a sheet.
He's albino.
So you have black hair?
No. I am white skinned, white hair.
Okay, so this, yeah, well, you're still a strangely colored man.
Yeah.
Walking through the streets, who appears to be trying to calm a Tressum that is freaking out for no apparent reason.
Don't-
You're definitely catching eyes in the street.
Oh
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. I'm not even trying to have it like, don't worry, Marcus. It is good. Just go.
Is this what you named the Tressum already?
You're damn right.
No.
I just want to make
No!
sure. Yeah, all right.
Hey,
So yeah,
I don't know what his name is.
well, yeah, you definitely don't. So, okay, yeah. So you begin to head to the beach. Meanwhile, the rest of the group is heading, I assume, back into town, like away from the beach. Or are you guys still there?
I guess we're going to deal with Celinda's problem.
I thought they were going to the inn, which is sad.
That's why I offered it.
Okay, so I guess to clarify, who's going where?
Well,
I'm
I'll deal
gonna
with my
go back to
problem
the
if
temple.
Nobody else wants to.
Okay,
I'm
Valen.
gonna go by myself. If nobody wants to go with me then.
Nope, Beth will go with you just to keep you out of trouble, or at least try to.
You're
More
gonna
trouble.
Get arrested with me, Beth.
I have no reason to be arrested.
You were there with me.
They never saw me.
I'm gonna
Some
have
of us
to
know how not
explain
to
what
get
went
caught.
on.
Maybe I shouldn't go with you.
I can
All
go.
by myself.
I'm just saying somebody who wasn't there should.
I'll come with. They don't know me.
And you're a nobleman. You
I
can,
might
you can
have
twist
some
arms.
weight.
I am a noblewoman as well.
You're a noble something.
Okay, so Balaam is going back to the Spires. Celenda, Elizabeth, and Reginald are going to deal with her problem. Bellion is just randomly going to the beach trying to find his friends. And Alton, what are you doing? Are you going to the Spires? Are you going with Celenda?
No, I'm actually going to go down to the docks because that is kind of where I'm most at home and ask if anybody knows why there's a wanted poster up for Celinda because I still don't quite know what happened.
And I'm not going with Reginald, so I'll go find Bellion. I'll just, try and find Bellion, knowing that he can be presumably in one of three places: the Spires because it's Lathander, the inn because it's the inn and that's the last place we knew him to be, or the beach because that's the last place we met.
Okay. Okay.
And becomes a comedy of he walks down one alley and I'm 2 alleys back, going the other direction.
Okay.
Cue the Benny Hill music.
Mm-hmm. Sure. All right. So Elizabeth is looking for Bellion. Alton is going to the docks. Celenda and Reginald are going to deal with her problem, and Valem is going to the Spires. So, why don't we start with Alton? You go to the docks. I'm assuming, do you just start asking around, or do you find like a tavern?
Tavern, absolutely. If you want to know anything, if you want sailors to tell you anything, you get them when they're drunk.
Okay. I mean, it's afternoon, so there's definitely some drunk sailors.
It doesn't matter what time it is. There's
I
drunk
think you could
sailors.
slide at any time in there.
Exactly. Okay, so you find an appropriate tavern. There's obviously loud music and cheering come from within. You make your way in, and like nobody seems to take notice of you. They're obviously busy. There's obviously music playing. Loud, extremely fast dance music. Fiddles and whatnot. Yeah, like where do you go? Who do you find?
I'm looking for anybody of rank, essentially. Anybody who's got a very big hat, functionally.
Okay.
Carmen! Oh, wait, wrong game.
So I think you find. I don't think you find someone with a very large hat. I do think what you find is an older woman who is. She looks like, I think you can tell looking at her. She's wearing the garb of an old sailor. It looks decorated in that manner that indicates to you that she's probably been sailing for a while. She may have actually been a legitimate sailor at some point, upon like an actual military vessel or something of the like. But yeah, her garb is definitely worn down from years of salt water and sailing in general. She keeps her hair very short and like close cropped out of her face. And she seems to be kind of just nursing a beer as she's like kind of scowling at a couple of the younger sailors who appear to be doing their thing with the ladies in the tavern. And she's just kind of nursing it and staring off at them.
I will very unreservedly walk up to her. Is the seat taken, ma'am?
And she just kind of looks at you and scowls a bit. No?
Excellent. I hop up. Takes me a minute, obviously.
Yeah. She's just kind of like she's trying to watch you, but then her eyes kind of drift back to, what she was watching.
I wonder if I could trouble you for a bit of what's going on in the city. I just got in.
Yeah, and she's like pulling the beer up to her lips, like, and before she can actually take a drink, she just kind of turns and looks at you. And like she's just got this like permanent scowl on her face. Do I know you?
You do not, but I recognize a woman of rank.
Ah, shit.
Yeah, and I think she kind of like takes a swig of her beer, and I think she just sort of like casually says, "I don't think I like you."
Didn't realize that was a prerequisite for me buying you a beer and you telling me what was going on in the city.
Yeah, and she's like, "Well, if you're buying me a beer, I guess."
I would not ask for free. I'm not that stupid. Today.
Today.
Yeah, and she just kind of turns to you and she says, "Alyssa."
Alton.
Again with the A names, dude. Knock it
actually-
off.
It's actually an E, but that's okay. So she says,
Now he's trolling us.
we'll call her Alyssa. How about that? We'll make it easier on everybody.
That works.
So yeah, she kind of reaches her hand out to shake yours.
I actually have to stand up on the chair to reach and shake her hand.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So she says about that beer.
Absolutely. And I flag down a barmaid and ask for two.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't take long. Yeah. So she ends up with another beer, and she's barely like polished off the first. She said, "So new in town, huh? You looking for work?"
Nope. Got a crew at the moment. A bit of rough sailing with them so far, but new crew. You know how that goes.
Yeah, and she just kind of like she's like nodding into her beer glass. Oh, do I?
Everybody always thinks they know what they're doing. Everyone always thinks they know best. And most of the time, they're wrong. Recently, I was the one who was wrong, so I'm going to try and be a little bit more well-behaved.
Yeah, and she just kind of like raised an eyebrow. She said, "Right, that was a lot of information I didn't ask for, but okay." So
I like to talk.
Yeah, I'm noticing. What did you want?
What's going on in the city? I mean, I haven't even been here that long, and there's wanted posters for a murder. There's apparently there's a whole tussle at an inn.
And she kind of like raises an eyebrow at you. She said, "It's a city. There's always wanted posters. There's always a tussle at an inn." She said, "Look around you, and you see that like you know that in a sailor's bar, everyone is 6 seconds away from punching someone else in the nose."
Yeah, no, that's given, but this one had two faces on it for one person.
She just kind of shrugged. She said, "I don't really get far away from the docks. I ain't seen anything quite like that."
Yeah, well, worth a try.
She said, "Well, I wish I could help you, but..."
Nah, wave it off. Sip of the beer.
Yeah, she just kind of like cheers you a little bit. She's, "Well, can always come here to get away from it all, right?"
That is the truth. Nothing a good drink and straight-faced company can't fix.
Yeah, and you say that, and she definitely like raises her eyebrow at you, like she's not sure if it's an insult or not. She just kind of shrugs, keeps drinking.
Anybody who is looking for work? Anybody who's looking to hire on? Admittedly, I'm not much of a strong hand, but I'm a good hand in the kitchen. Make sure everybody actually eats the food instead of just puking it over the side.
That's quite a task. You must be pretty good at it.
I am getting better all the time.
Right. Well, I mean, there's plenty of ships in dock right now, but we come and go pretty fast out of this city.
Fair enough.
She says, "You might talk to the harbor master. They might know something I don't. Being employed by the city and all, but
Yeah, but they'll only tell you what they're supposed to tell you, unless you get them really drunk. You, I just had to buy one beer.
She said, "You calling me cheap?"
Calling you honest.
She said, "I think that might be worse."
Possibly, but you haven't punched me yet, so.
Not yet. She like goes back to her beer.
That, however, makes it seem like I'm overstaying my welcome, so good luck, happy drinking, and do be careful.
Yeah, you too. And like as you're leaving, you see her just scowling at some of the younger men in the bar. Okay, so Alton, you probably leave or you go to find someone else.
Yeah.
Who do we go to? I guess Elizabeth and Bellion. So what does this look like exactly?
I think Beth would just kind of wander like a triangular path to an extent. I don't know how many, like maybe like 2 rounds, however long that takes. Before she starts asking around for her brother. He's yay tall, really pale, little slow. He talks with a weird accent. Maybe you've seen him.
Yeah, so if you're asking that, it definitely doesn't take long for some young kids to kind of hear you when they run over. And they start to tell you very excitedly. There's like 6 different children all talking at once, saying something about, "Oh, we saw the snowman. We saw him. He had a cat with bird wings."
The snowman.
Would I remember the place that we heard the cats meowing at vaguely?
I mean,
Near Valem's Inn? Can I do an intelligence check?
yeah, you can give me an intelligence check, sure. Yeah, I don't think so. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's that you don't remember so much as like you guys never saw them, so you just remember there being cat noises. I don't know if.
Well, they were saying cat with chicken wings. So.
Right, exactly. So yeah, but I don't think you could remember exactly where it was.
She would kind of write that off, but knowing how distinctive Bellion is,
Mm-hmm.
she'll ask where they saw him and how long ago it was, and try and, Actually, no, she'll reach into her pocket. You said there's 6 of them?
Yep.
She pulls out 6 gold.
Okay.
Whoever brings me, or whoever finds him first and brings us together will earn themselves 6 gold, because there's 6 of you. If you all find him and bring him to me, you'll each get 1 gold. That way they'll spread out across the city.
So, yeah, here's exactly what happens. All of the children simultaneously start running, except they're all small, stupid children, so they all literally run into each other. A couple of them hit the ground, and they the 3 bigger children, like, just run off. The other 3 kids, like, brush themselves off all pissed off, and they just scatter in different directions.
And Beth does it, and she just kind of shouts, "I'll stay right here!" And she'll give them about half an hour. And just I'm assuming she's in some kind of square between main roads, and she'll keep an eye out for Bellion herself.
Okay, sure. Yeah, so they all, like, flee. Oh, dear God. They all run off. I checked on my phone, so...
Thank God.
So,
Because
with that,
holy
why don't we take our break? Because I can't think straight now.
What the fuck, John?
That was John,
I had to
not
mute
Sean.
myself for the laugh.
All of a sudden I look over and go,
Like, what is everybody talking about? I'm
On Discord.
I have it pretty small, like a small window. I'm like, what is that? I get real
Check
close. Like,
Discord,
look at it, it's like, oh
Mel.
my God.